Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whip Finish Wednesday. It is Wednesday night. It's time to relax and enjoy a fun night of tying with me and the lovely Katie next door. She is running all the cameras and she has got a lot going on tonight over on her side of the computer. So we love seeing you guys hopping on and saying hey. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with showing some of the awesome pictures that you all submitted last week for Jake Vilwalk's Roamer. We had some good variations of that fly put up. What's up, Jeff? And then we've got our big drawing. We've been doing a giveaway for the past few weeks, maybe month, until we hit 600 followers, 600 subscribers, and we have surpassed 600 subscribers. So we're going to give away a Hungarian partridge skin that's compliments of Smitty's Fly Box. We're going to give away a $25 gift card. There he is. What's up, Gary? And Freddie, hey, $25 gift card to GB Flies. We're going to give away an Umpqua fly box full of all the flies that we tied live. What's up, Josh? Stay fly. What's up? And Patrick, what you doing? We're going to give away that gift or the fly box. So brand new Umpqua fly box full of the flies that we tied live. And we're also going to give away 2 bags of coffee and a coffee cup from Angler's Coffee. So we're really, really excited about that. But we're really pumped that we're able to do this. So if Katie draws your name, just shoot us an email. And another thing, we love seeing your guys' work, but not everyone has. And old Ken B from Australia emailed us his flies from last week, the Roamer. And so she's going to be able to show that one off. So if you don't have Instagram and you want to send us the work you've been doing, just email it to us. It's Demuth Fly Fishing. So what's up, Nan? Awesome seeing you hop on. So without further ado, like I said, Katie's got a lot to do. So I'm going to turn it over to her and we'll keep on rolling. What you got, Katie?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. We missed you all last week. So tonight we're going to be doing some big drawings. We're going to give away 4 prizes or 4 sets of prizes tonight to 4 individuals. And these drawings are for those who commented on the video or they posted their variation of a fly that we tied right here on Whip Finish Wednesday and then later tagged a picture of their fly and used hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. So let's start our drawing, and I've got a cup full of names here with this awesome mug from Angler's Coffee. So we'll start out by giving Angler's Coffee a big thank you for donating 2 bags of coffee that we're going to give away tonight. So our first winner of our giveaway tonight.
Oh, and Nan likes your hat, Katie.
It's going to be thank you, Nan. I love it too. It's my favorite one. And our first winner tonight is Patrick W. Smith.
Oh, so, Patrick. I think I saw him on here already. Yes, I did, because I said hello to him.
Congratulations to Patrick W. Smith for being our first winner tonight. We also have, as John said before, a $25 gift certificate to give away that Gary Barnes supplied to us to use on his Gary Barnes website with all kinds of cool stuff that he has. So let's do our next drawing and see who our second winner is going to be.
And that you can get about anything Semperfli along with a whole bunch of other cool stuff. That's GB Flies.
And our winner for that is going to be Bill Shears.
Good job, Bill. Congratulations. Hey, Don. And hey.
All right, so we also have to give away a really cool partridge skin that was given to us. Smitty's Fly Box. So thanks to Smitty's Fly Box for the partridge skin.
And I think you've got it sitting over there.
Really cool fly box stuff that you have as well that we've been getting. So if you haven't checked, But let's do our drawing now and see who are. And that is going to be Joe Camerato. Is that it?
I think so.
Joe Camerato.
Camarade, that was from a comment, I believe.
So, Joe, thank you so much for your comments. And we really appreciate you watching as well. We also have one last item that we're going to be giving away tonight, and that is the Umpqua fly box from the folks over at Umpqua. It's the HD standard foam fly box. Also, that fly box is going to be filled with, let's see if I can get this on camera, many flies that have been tied right here on Whip Finish Wednesday. So,
hey, Tommy,
the fly box, you're going to get an assortment of really cool flies that we tied right here on the show. So there's that one, and we'll do our final drawing for the Umpqua fly box now to see who the winner is, and that is going to go to. So congratulations, Jay Wilson. You are our first tonight for our big drawing, and thank you who post pics of their flies that we tie together on the show, or comments on the show after it's over here on YouTube, and we appreciate everybody watching.
So awesome. And Bill, yes, your name was called for the $25 gift card to GB Flies. So you can give him you can send him a note or shoot us a note. We'll get you all in touch. And Tommy, I've got your name right here. We called your name 2 weeks ago, I believe. If you'll email us your address or send it to us on Instagram, one of the two, and we'll get this in the mail to you. But here's your box, and still got your name. So no, we have not sent it out. Didn't know how to get in touch with you. So email us at demuthflyfishing@gmail.com or shoot us a note on Instagram. Let's get your address and we'll get it in the mail to you ASAP. Katie's going to have fun at the post office tomorrow. ASP. That's right. As what's his name? Who says ASP?
Tony Beats.
Tony Beats. That's right. All right. So hopefully some of you all saw the video that we posted a couple weeks ago. Hey, Michael, on the hairline foaminizer, and we're doing another giveaway. We'll announce the winner next week. It's for a $25 gift certificate to Jay Stockard. Jay Stockard sent us this the foaminizer here. You can kind of see it, but the 16-inch standard foaminizer and the resin and glue foaminizer, it's 12-inch here. Later on, we'll pull it out, and after I've used it for a little bit. Tommy, I'll figure out did you email Demuth? No, it's no underscore or anything, right? Just demuthflyfishing@gmail.com. Is that correct, Katie?
I think so.
Katie's going to look it up and make sure that I'm telling you right. I think there's Ken B has been emailing us, which reminds me we need to show the pictures, but Ken has been emailing us and he has been able to get through. So I don't know if that Katie's going to make sure we got the right address. But the foaminizer video, if you will just comment anything on the video and just include Jay Stockard, just the term Jay Stockard in your comment. Next week, we'll draw a winner and give away a $25 gift card to Jay Stockard to use however you want. Hey, Mike, good to see you hopping on here. Lots of giveaway stuff, but Tommy, keep there you go. Katie's got it up there. And Tommy, if you cannot get a hold of us for some reason, just keep coming back. We send stuff all the time. Make that hat in high vis orange, please, please, please. We can ask. That's about all. All I can say is that they've got a lot of stuff going on right now, and we can ask.
I can ask for sure.
I
mean, it never hurts to ask.
Absolutely.
The worst they can say is no. But I think it'd be really cool to have one in high vis orange stuff. I mean, it's my favorite one. I have two of them. So I wouldn't mind having an orange one. I could go for that. That'd be fun.
Nan's got a lot of hunting have a lot of hunting going on up in the back 40. So blaze
I'm
orange
gonna make
hat.
a note about that right now.
And seriously, she's going to ask. But while Katie's making a note, we did have about a handful of flies, and this was the streamers are completely out of our wheelhouse and probably out of your wheelhouse. We're usually tying small nymphs, little dries for trout, tying up a big smallmouth streamer. And one, I think it was Steve, asked for pictures of the flounder and redfish. We posted a couple pictures of the flounder we caught last week on Instagram, but we can share some more pictures of flounder if you'd like. But will you share the pictures of the flies that were sent to us last week, please?
I would love to.
Oh, geez.
First, I don't want to lose the winners. Again, really quick, Joe Camerato is the winner of the partridge skin. Patrick W. Smith is the winner of our Angler's Coffee. Jay Wilson was the winner of the Umpqua fly box with Whip Finish Wednesday flies. And Bill Brashears was our Gary Barnes gift card winner this week. So maybe John can post those again later.
Yeah. The key thing is you got to send us your address so we can get you.
We need a mailing address, a good mailing address where we can send you your prize. So I would love to share some of the flies that we got, not from last week, but the week before when we did a bait fish fire.
Okay.
So let's start with, we got this one via email from Ken Brooks from Australia. So this is his little, how many is that? Five?
Yes,
5. I'm trying to count.
You make fun of my math skills.
But they're so perfectly lined up on the corks. I just love this picture. So Ken, thanks so much for sharing that with us. And then we have Jimmy Roop's version here on the Renzetti sticker, which always makes a great background, I think. And I'm loving the colors on this one. John, you want to add anything to that? I like how he used the rubber legs for the fins. Really different, kind of cool idea.
Yep. Well, the key thing with all the people that posted is everyone did something a little bit different, which is exactly what we want to see. If you've got all the perfect materials and you can do it just the way we do it, that's fine. But we want to see people use what they've got, get creative, do things a little bit different, and not be afraid outside the box. And that's exactly, I think Ken even said he didn't have the Palmer Chanel, so use Ice Chanel or something different. And he said he's going to get this other stuff ordered, but to tie those up with what he had. And that's awesome, because if you guys are like me, you'll wait until you get all the right stuff. And then next thing you know, 6 months has gone by and you haven't tied the darn fly. So it's I got sidetracked because of Tommy's comment. Thanks, Tommy. We'll look at it when we get off here. Hopefully it's there.
To you too, On Stream Assassins.
Yeah, On Stream Assassins. It's so awesome to see you jumping on. But anyway, get creative with your stuff, and we love it. And Big T posted this one right here, and it was on a size 10. And he used it as a trailer on either a weighted nymph or a weighted streamer. I can't remember what he said, but he caught a bunch of fish on that this past weekend. So that's even better. We love seeing people catching fish on these flies.
And he did a great job of tagging his materials there.
And can you believe he took the picture and has his feet in there at the same time?
I know. I mean, his feet must be tiny.
That's right. Hey, Jimmy.
We also had this one here from Fly Tying 1216.
I think that's Joe, the winner. I think, or one of the winners. I think.
It's hard for me to tell the names from the numbers sometimes. But a duo here.
And using the juggle cock eyes in place of the rubber leg fins. That's really nice.
That's really cool. And then we have Mike Ragstill.
He's on here.
One, and I love the color here on the top. I don't know. Is that like fuchsia maybe, or?
You're the one that's not colorblind.
But the eye is awesome. And then this tinsel that you can see just kind of sparkling through looks really good as well. So
Steve got a good joke on there about Steve's toenail.
And then we have this one, which was, I just wanted to include it because I thought it was a cool looking fly. This person tagged us on What Finish Wednesday. Has nothing to do with any other ones, but
Occasionally, I just want to share that.
That's cool.
Unlike that guy's, he's just using wish because he's trying to fly on Wednesday.
That's right. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for sharing those flies that you tied. I hope you guys go out like Big T did and catch something on them.
Absolutely. And guys, if you're watching on Instagram, if you're missing out the pictures, I think there's a Jay Stalker's on there. If you're missing the pictures and not seeing anything, hop over on YouTube. You'll be able to see a lot better and see the flies that Katie is sharing. And Mike's got a great idea on YouTube about keeping all his materials in a Ziploc bag so he can grab that pattern and go through. That's a very good idea when you get super organized like that. The only problem is when you've got say O2 wire with one material or one fly. I use this this and a ton of other flies. It'd be hard to either have to have a bunch of this or there's not one perfect way to do it. And Mike, if that works for you, that is awesome. So let's get to tying. We're going to tie the Frenchie. I was talking with Lance Egan about this fly today because he was the first one that I ever saw that tied this fly and I've made a few tweaks. Not really. His way works just fine. But he said that he fished this fly first, I believe he said in 2006 at one of the for the Team USA World Championship. And he told me where it was, but I can't remember. So this fly has been around for quite some time, but still a new-ish fly. This fly works just about everywhere. Personally, we tie this from a size, typically from a size 14 to a size 18, sometimes size 12, but usually 14 to 18 is what we tie it in. And sometimes we'll throw CDC on it that makes it completely not really a Frenchie anymore, but works pretty well. We're going to tie the standard Frenchie. The only variation we're going to make is maybe changing up the colors. So if there's a specific color combo you like, be kind of thinking about it and tell us, because maybe after 2 or 3 of them, we'll tie that color up for you. But this is a great fly. If you don't have one, if you've never tied one, the one in the vise here is a size 16. This is the standard version that Lance ties. This has the red collar behind the shrimp pink ice dub, the pheasant tail body, and the CDL, the Coq de Leon tail, along with the ribbing. So let's go over the materials real quick. What you'll need is a jig hook or just a regular nip hook. We're going to be using the Umpqua XC 400 Super Jig 60. We're going to use size 14, 16, and 18. And let's switch back over to the side here, honey. There we go. So we're going to use one of these hooks for the hook. Oh boy, purple, yellow, blue, pink. Okay, I see purples, pinks, blues, and chartreuse. The beads. Now, size-wise, to keep it standard size 14, I'm doing 3.5. Size 16, I'm doing 3. And size 18, I'm doing a 2.5. Now, obviously, I'll fish the 3 on a 14 a lot, and I'll fish a 2.5 on a 16. If you're using a 3.3 or 2.8 or whatever, this is just kind of a overview, like a kind of generically, if I'm going to just tie some, this size 14, 16, and 18 is what I'm going to tie. And these are just gold slotted tungsten beads. The color choices are absolutely endless. They're endless, honey. Cerise, man, I don't even know. I'll have to see if I've got cerise. But so we can see that. So the first one we can see better. Oh, I'm sure I've got it somewhere. I'm gonna put this in my little fly box here. Make sure I get it in the right one because this is a 16. So I'm gonna put that one right here, and I'm gonna get a size 14 loaded in the vise. Go back to the side here, honey, because it's fun watching someone try to pull a hook out and put a bead on it, especially with those glasses on. It makes it really tough. So I've seen some good good. There we go. Good suggestions.
That was pretty slick right there.
What was that? I mean, getting that.
I don't think I could have done it that quickly. It would have rolled off into the floor.
Oh no! Usually when I'm doing it without being on camera, that's kind of how it goes. Usually when I'm on camera, though, it like gets all jacked up and rolls around. I can't do anything right, and it's just, it's a mess waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see if I can clean off my clicks here. Because it's nice being able to see. All right, so we've got the and guys, a lot of you that are on here chatting, I know you all have tied these before. It's no big deal. You all are really probably good at them. Tied a million of them, and that's great. I'd just like to see what your favorite post up your favorite color variation. If you haven't tied one though, and you've got questions, ask your questions. We'd love to answer questions, because this is just one of those flies that just works, and it's a good one to practice your consistency on. For steelhead, well, that's interesting, Patrick. Are you tying like a size 12, or what size are you tying for steelhead? But yeah, if you all got any questions, feel free to ask. So all I did here is I started my thread. Now this is going to be kind of the standard edition. I've got my bead on here and hook and thread. I've got my Cote de Leon. I think this is light Pardo.
Which size bead do you use?
It's 3.5 millimeter bead. And that's what I was saying just a minute ago, Bill. For size 14s, they use 3.5. 16s, they use 3 millimeter. Size 18s, they'll use 2.5. And that's just kind of a place to start. You can go a little bit bigger. You can definitely go smaller. A lot of times I'll have the size 14s tied in a 3.5 and a 3 millimeter. So I'm doing a dry dropper. That 3.5 is kind of heavy, and I've got to have a pretty substantial dry to float that thing. So and Steve's got a good red pheasant tail, red wire for the body, orange for the collar, red for the hot spot, or copper. Wow, that is nice. It does sound good.
I like it.
All right, so one of the and I'm not saying mistakes, because I'm sure it works fine. So you see here, I'm getting how many fibers? About 6. That's probably one more than I probably need, 1 or 2 more. I'm gonna pull this off. I've got my butts lined up right here. Let's flip over to the side here. Here's a trick. If y'all haven't seen me do this, just because my butts are lined up, my tips are lined up, right? But right now they're going the wrong way. So if you'll just take the butt ends here, take your thumbs together, put them together, bring them back. I just changed the direction of the fibers without messing up my tips. Remember I had 5 or 6 fibers here on the 7. Well, let's pull one of them out, because this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to pull 2 out. So you don't need a dozen fibers. You don't need a whole bunch of the tail doesn't need to be big. When you see the naturals, the tail's very small. It's very wispy. There's not much there. So a lot of times there's no tail because it's been broken off or something. But you don't need a big bushy tail. So we've got just a few fibers here. On a size 14, I'll probably go 5 to 6 on the and a drop of a fiber as I go down. So on 18, I'll have 3 or so. And this is just approximate, give or take 1 or 2. So I'm gonna pinch my tails, grab my hook shank and the tails, grab my thread, go up, down. Now there's no pressure on my thread right now. See how it's loose? And now I just pull it straight down to me. And I've got it, see how it's kind of crossed over there? Take my thread and I pull it back. So now see how it's going straight back? It's right on top of the hook shank. That's what we want. And we'll pull this bead kind of out of the way. For me, that tail's a little bit long. Thank you, Steve, for counting. I appreciate it. CDL so much better pheasant tail than the pheasant tail fibers. If you don't have CDL, work fine. They're just not they're thick, but they're not as durable. They'll get broken off pretty quick, but they'll work. So we're going to pull this a little bit shorter to right about there. So I don't want the tail, that's just personal preference. I don't want the tail to be longer than the body, and the body is going to be the hook shank right there. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this up. I use open spiral wraps because another thing to watch as you're tying these things, these flies, is keep your body slim. If your body is thick and heavy and fat, think about what you're you're trying to imitate. You're imitating a mayfly, sometimes a caddis, which is fatter, but you're typically trying to imitate a mayfly, and that's a thin little bug. So on the 14th, I'm not super duper worried about it, but I did forget to mention them. I was going over the material. I don't think I went over all the material. So
You didn't. I was going to ask you about the. Yep.
So in this case, I'm using 12-aught Semperfli classic wax thread in red, and now I'm going to go with a 0.2 millimeter bright gold tying wire, and I think I've got a piece still sitting here. It's a little short, but that'll work. Fat boy slim, and Steve's right. The thinner it is, the faster it'll sink. So see where I've got the wire? It's in the bead, but on the side of the hook shank on your side. So it's on the far side of the hook shank. It can be a little bit low. So now I've got my tail still going straight, and I've got my my wire tied in. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing. Bring my thread back up to the front. So we got a nice smooth body. Well, not super smooth, but it's flat. An even body. That's a better way to look at it. Nice even body. We've got our tail tied in and our wire tied in. And now we're going to pull out our pheasant tail. And this is another place, tying less in is better. So I want 4 fibers. 4 is a good number for me because if I break one off, I still have a couple. So there's 4 fibers. We're going to break them off just like we always do. Pull off, butt ends, pinch, do that finger trick, switch it over. And I totally just did that wrong because I don't need to switch it over. I was just excited about my finger trick. I'm going to cut just the tips of it off. And let's go back up to the hook, honey. Perfect. I'm going to cross it over, loose wrap. I've got that captured. And this is on my side of the hook shank now. Put another little wrap, pull it to length. And now we've got all the materials tied in. Now, one thing, this is probably the biggest thing I'm doing different than Lance. And this is really a Davey McPhail piece of advice, we'll say. This is something that it makes sense to me. He says your last material, or your material that adds the strength, which in this case would be the wire, you want to wrap that the same direction as your thread. Your weaker material you want to counter wrap. Now that's more of a pain to wrap the pheasant tail backwards. I get it. It's a pain to wrap the pheasant tail backwards. It's easier to wrap the wire backwards. But that last material being the wire, when I make that wrap over it and that wrap's going the same direction as the wire, it kind of pulls it tight. Patrick, I don't want to say that I agree that I prefer the thread Frenchie, but the thread Frenchie is a great fly and it's easier to tie, and one less material. It does sink quicker. When I say I don't know if I agree I prefer it, but I definitely have them in my box. I've got both these and the thread Frenchie in my box. So that's a good one. But every third word. But so having the wire going the same direction, when you make that last wrap, that wire's tightening up versus having the wire going backwards. And when you cross it over, it kind of loosens up a little bit. I don't know if that makes any sense. To me, it does. But if it doesn't make sense, then you can wrap it the other way. It will catch fish, and it will be completely no problem at all. So I'm gonna put my I've got my bobbin cradle up. See if that side thing will show. The side camera will show. Okay, so you see I've threaded a bottom cradle. We've got the hook, everything ready to go. So now I'm just going to get rid of that fuzz off my desk. Grab my the pheasant tail. Okay, grab the pheasant tail, make sure it's somewhat flat. And now I'm going to kind of pretend like I'm wrapping a brassy with this. So I want the fibers to be straight. I want them to be aligned. And I want them to be flat. I'm not taking a big ball of pheasant tail fibers and wrapping them up. I'm making a nice smooth. See how that's wrapped right there? It's nice and smooth. My body looks good. It's nice and tight. And oh, let me get that out of the way. This is going to be fun. Normally my bobbin cradle is going the other way, but the camera's in the way. So pull this, get this out of the way. There we go. Wish you could see that move that just did. So as you can see, when the pheasant tail was counter wrapped. So one in front, one behind, front and behind. So that's locked off. So we've got that done. No problem. Easy peasy chicken squeezy. How many cameras? 4, Steve. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but the other direction. Got our thread in the bobbin, hook, everything, but we're going to take our wire and now we're going to wrap this the same way, the same way as our thread. So this will wrap the opposite direction of the, whatever it's called, the pheasant tail. Let's get rid of this. Got one wrap here. So you can see when I want to make this, I want to make this wrap. Now this is tightening that up there. So 3 wraps, helicopter that off. We'll get rid of that piece because it's not much there. And now we've got our nice smooth body. If you wanted to put a little bit of taper in it, that's fine. But remember, thin. So now we're going to go with the UV shrimp pink, which is what Lance shoots for. I'm going to start with this much. I might have actually not grabbed enough, but that you can see how much is in my finger there. Just not much at all. And then I'm going to take that and pull it apart. I'm not ripping the fibers, but I'm going to take that into 2 little clumps. And let's see if you can see it on the. So that's one. With the ice dub, if you'll just take just a teeny bit out, that's all you need. Remember on the Frenchie, this is not like a big wing case. It's nice. This is a hot spot. Actually, I might need just a touch more. When I say a touch more, I just grab 2 fibers. Okay. So now we've got that on there. Slide this up. So see how fine that is. That was really okay. See, there we go. Now what Lance likes on these is, and I agree on some of them anyway. It's a good variation, not variation. It's a good variety. Is to have a little bit of a red collar. So I'll just make some wraps until my red collar, my thread comes up just enough. As you can see, let's see, can you see it coming up? Yep, it's starting to come up now a little bit, and it looks like I've captured some of the dubbing right here, right there in between the go the wrong way, in between the bead and the thread, but that's actually the reflection of the dubbing on the bead. So I'm nothing captured because I'm going like this. And once it gets to be the size that I want, and I'm being way too specific here, but I'll unback about 5. I'll take about 5 wraps off and I'll do my whip finish. Being way too, like, I don't know, exact. Put my Sally Hansen's on there and whip finish. 4 turns, pull it, cut her off, and see we've got our ice dub body or ice dub hotspot collar with our red thread. We've got our CDL tail here. It doesn't need to be split, so you can use your finger and split it like that. You don't want it to be split, not much anyway, because that's going to slow the sync rate. That's fine, just like that though. And you're good to go. So that is, hey, Matt, good to see you. So no problem being late. So that's our first little rundown. Now we're going to do a quick little variation of this bad boy, just a color variation, and then you all can tell me what to do.
What
for another.
color?
We're going to pull out size 16 if I can find my hooks. Counting is great for consistency. Yep, I agree. And I tell you, as far as being a better fly tire, Freddie, you know, people ask tips and tricks and stuff like what are some? Do you feel in your slot on your head with like resin or with what, Glenn? Probably not, because the way I just tied it is the way that's kind of the done version. But Freddie, as far as consistency is key, you're absolutely correct. And if you will get really good at one pattern and then tie it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then when you can set them all out and you've got all your flies laid up and you've got the same amount of wire wraps, you've got the same amount of dubbing, they all look basically identical. That's a huge step because you know these are counting that makes the medicine for that. Yeah. These are great flies for you to get good at consistency because they once you tie half a dozen or a dozen of them, they go really quick. But then you can tie them all identical, and that definitely helps out. All right, so we're going to switch this over. This is new flashback, by the way. Oh, new flashback. Oh, cool. See, Glenn, we don't know all this fancy stuff. No, who was asking about the epoxy? No, I don't. Glenn, Glenn, I do not use epoxy to fill in the slot. I feel like the main reason you do that is for the fluid dynamics to make it cut through the water quicker, and I just don't really. No. I mean, I'm not. You could put like a little flashback with that on there, and absolutely, why not? But so we got I just pulled our tails off. I don't know, 5 fibers. I'm gonna pinch this. I'm not worried about making it a little bit long. You'll notice I switched to a black classic wax thread, 12-aught. Get this right on top, pull this over. See how that's too long? It's easy to make it shorter. It's hard to make it longer. Remember, we're going for about that long. And the tail length is one of those things that like you have to get right or get consistent, because it's one of those things like, does it matter really if this tail's this long, the next tail's this long, the next tail after that's that long? No, the fish probably aren't going to care. But when they're lined up in your box and all your tails are the same length and everything is the same, absolutely. It's like, are the fish counting how many wraps you have? No, they're not. But anyway, I did it thinking it would stop gunk from getting in the slot, tearing the fly, but I'm thinking, man, I feel like using barbless hooks. Here's a trick on cutting your wire. So you see I got wire here, the O2 and O1 wire. Just grab it, break it. You don't have to cut it. I feel like when I'm trying to get something really durable and everything, when I started using barbless flies, I messed up my fly more than the fish did. And now, like, if I can catch enough fish with this fly and the fish tear it up, so be it. I'm a happy guy. If filling it in with resin, the whole reason behind that is to keep it so it will stay fresher longer. I don't know, but hey, if it works for you, man, wear it out. But I would agree with your statement. Probably overthinking it. And speaking of overthinking it, this the foaminizer that we did the thing on, guys, that I've got it back here, so we'll do some cool little videos as we're tying. Maybe we'll talk about it as we're live, like what we like about it, what we don't like about it, because I'm using it pretty often now. But this is not the one thing that's going to end the fly tying organizational problems for everyone. It will definitely help, but it's not like the magic end all be all for fly tying organization. All right, we got our 3 or 4 fibers in here. Wrap that back. Now, keeping this smooth. Wrap this forward. What's up, Truman? I heard Katie say Truman, so I guess you're on here. Get to it. I need to keep some.
Hiccups, by the way.
Oh boy. All right, so we're gonna do the exact same thing, counter wrapping the pheasant tail. It's over. When it starts splitting, just back it off. No big deal. So we've got our fibers on there. This is kind of a pain getting the thing out of the way. Do one, still holding on to my material, pull tight. So when I'm wrapping the when I'm tying off, the material's counter wrapped. I've got my thread going to the hook bend side, bring it up. Now I'm crossing it straight over the material to the bead. That's not a super tight wrap, kinda. And then I put a wrap in front of it that's tight. Crossover, tight, and do that 3 times or so. Pull it off really tight, close. There we go, everyone. So I'll give Truman a hard time for being late tonight. He's missing this super. I bet he's never heard of this one. He's such a noob. Just kidding. We all know Truman. All right, let me get my bobbin cradle back out of the way. And I already messed up my. I told you I was going to do a different variation of the pattern. I've already messed up my different variation. So the only thing that's changed so far between this one and the last one is the hook size. We went to 16 and my thread color. So now I've got fluorescent orange in the loaded in the bobbin. I should have changed this over a minute ago before I did anything else. So I'm going to wrap this around like this. Bring this over. There we go. So I like to change my thread colors before I go ahead and tie in all my materials. So I tie in the tail, wire, and pheasant tail. And then I just do a 2-turn whip finish to the black. And then I tie the orange right behind the bead. So the only step I've added is cutting off my black, tying in the orange, and that's it. And the reason I like to do that is I've got this, and Gary can probably tell me what color this is. It's like a pinkish orange. Pull this out. And the main reason that I like this color is when you pull out, your Katie is having a hard time with her hiccups right now. When you pull out your UV light with ice dub, sure. And you look at different, see that one right here, that it's just, you probably can't tell, but that one is blazing. And this one is like, it's like a jet fuel rocket thing right here. It is super bright. So that's where I'm going to use this color. And the reason that I
that's what I was trying to say, Steve, but I think
the reason that I use this color is because that's going to make it even explode that much more. So I've got enough dubbing in my hand to do, I don't know, 4 or 5 flies. JP5. So I'm just going to twist this on here, and these fibers are pretty long, so I just pull some out and then break off what I think I want to use. And that's plenty. I thought I was still tying on the 14, so that's more than enough. So when Gary hops back on, you can be like, Gary, where were you? Don't ask a question, and Steve had to hop in and guess for you. All right, so pull off the extra here. Oh boy.
I told you it was coming.
Okay, so you can see we got our super hot hot spot here. And see how it just, look at that. I mean, that thing, that is a very small bit of dubbing there, but it's super bright. So I'll do the same thing. We're going to put our Oh, and when you're doing this, when you're putting Sally Hansen's or any type of glue on your thread, talk about a bad day, let it run down into your bobbin. And don't do that. Like that will ruin your bobbin forever. So I got some fibers here, so I'm gonna pull those up, cut them off. And
that is some
we go.
bright stuff right there.
So there you go. There's our size 16.
Day-glow.
There's our size 16, and that is super, super duper bright. All right, so one more color, and then we'll be done for the night. So that's a couple of them. So you wrap better than two-pack. Two-pack? Is that like a Pac-Man? Two-pack. I literally, I know what you're saying now that I think about it. I did not say two-pack trying to be funny initially. I was like, two-pack? Who two-pack? Hey, Langley. Man, I tell you what, Langley, you finally hopped on here, and I realized I hadn't even zoomed in on anything, so that might look a little bit better. So what colors? Let's do it. Let's go back to the 14 because I think you can see that one a touch better. Yeah, Glenn, I'm embarrassed to say I'm not trying to be funny initially, but hey, whatever. So one more. Mr. Rowley, since you're giving me a hard time about two-packing, what color do you want me to throw up? Do the best I can on finding it. I've got a 6-pack. I got a keg for you, Truman. We'll yeah, Steve, we're on the same page. Mine's still a pony keg though. So we got our thread started. And we'll start with the red because the red I like. It's a good contrasting color with a lot of color. So someone said chartreuse. So chartreuse to that red band will look great. Having that contrasting color is, I think, pretty cool. Not super necessary, but hey, why not? Pull off our fibers, butt ends are lined up. We'll pinch it, grab it, twist it, bring it back and around. And with a bit of insulation. Okay, yellow. We can do yellow. No biggie problem. Oh boy, now Glenn's getting on the fun. You get it, Katie? I got that one. I might have been born. What's the word? Somebody being born yesterday, but not the day before yesterday or something. All right, I messed that one up. All right, stick it on top. Grab it, pinch it, pull it down. Okay, that's good enough. Pull it to length, a little long. Okay. Open wraps. Now with the size 18 and even smaller, but size 18, I will eliminate one trip down and back by tying in two materials at once, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Let's grab our wire, bop it. God. Oh, Jimmy's getting in on it. Did you see that one, Katie? Katie's like, dude, I am covered up over here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so we've got our wire in here. Any questions as I'm doing this last one? We're gonna do yellow because I know I've got a really bright yellow. So I'm gonna use 4 fibers here. On the 16 and the 18, I would probably drop it down to 3. Definitely on the 18, maybe on the 16. But as long as you're doing flat wraps and you're not like bundling them up and wrapping them all together, it's not too big a deal. And plus, the pheasant tail goes a heck of a lot farther when you do it this way. So we got our fibers, cross it over, do a loose wrap, capture it, pull it to length. Maybe put one more wrap in there so pull it out. And as you all know, we were tying those streamers last week. And it's such a hard time this week. Or 2 weeks ago, we're tying the streamers. I don't think I tied a fly in a week. It was crazy. And when I went to tie these, I kept breaking my thread because I was used to using like stainless steel thread. See, Katie, now you're getting advice for hiccups. All right, so we'll wrap this around. And you see me using the rotary vise. I love the rotary vise. If you don't have one, no problem. You can just by hand. Just takes a little bit more time. Just a wee bit. And it takes even more time when you kind of pull your bobbin crate around backwards. So there's one, two. Now we're going to go cross over here, cross over here. So now we've got our pheasant tail tied in. And I think Steve was saying his favorite is like red pheasant tail in the main camera, honey. Like I've got some red here and some all different colors. Like here's a fluorescent fuchsia or something or another and chartreuse. I mean, you could have a box. You got boxes full of nothing but pheasant tail with different color variations and size variations. I mean, the list goes endless. You'll need anger management when you get back in tired. You know what, Truman? When literally yesterday when I sat down to tie these, I needed anger management. And when I sat down here, I almost didn't want to. But when I sat down here after literally less than a minute, dude, I felt like $1 million. Like maybe I'm just weird, but it made me like chillax for a little bit. It's been one of those couple weeks. Got to chillax and enjoy it and put a little Dave Matthews on. It was nice. Katie even came and sat with me for a minute. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'll get my tail kind of back to the way it's supposed to be. Pull this around. So we got that done. You want to switch back over to the fly, please, ma'am. There we go. And my tail might be like 1 millimeter too short there, maybe. 1, 2, 3. Helicopter that off. And like, try doing this in a size 20. And when you get a 20 kind of down, a size 14's cake. It's no problem at all. Dude, the yellow here, Jeff, it's pretty blazing too. Just gonna get a few fibers. See if I can do this all with, what is that, 4 fibers. These are long fibers, so I'm kind of cheating. Because it just shows like how the best thing you can do is tie with less material. So this is a 4-fibered hot spot. So up, just 1 wrap, 2 wrap, 3 wrap, bring it around, and man, that's perfect. So like it looks like I'm capturing the dubbing a little bit, but I'm not. Get my red band the way I want it, and if you like it super, super, super fat, you can just keep on going to your heart's delight. I'm kind of like halfway. I finally had to get progressive this winter, so I went from tying hundreds to like 6, trying to get my enthusiasm back. Dude, I went to cut the long dubbing fibers like I7 short piece before I dub it. Steve, I will rip them as I dub it because I don't want to deal with cutting them, and it's just like one more step. But Gary, you must have gone and gotten like dinner or something because I was asking you a question a minute ago. So here's our finished Jeff Rowley suggested color of bright yellow, but and I don't have it right here. I've got some awesome yellow pheasant tail that would be even cooler. Steve, you had to say a thing about my tails. Steve was like, his tails look good. They're always on top, and I've totally messed this one up. It's on the side. So I'll call myself out. It's terrible. I should practice with so I won't shop at Marcy across the wall or yard yet. One of my heartstrings. And you know, my tail is totally jacked up on it. One of the fun things about tying live is you can see me mess up, but I'm not going to give that one away. It's going to go in my box and it'll fish, and it will fish just fine.
You
Not
had
too
good
worried about it.
effort.
Hey, it got an A for maybe a B for effort, honey. Maybe.
Certificate of participation.
So I'm glad Tommy hopped on to hopefully send us his address for the switch back over to the main. There we go. So send us the address so we can send him his Smitty's fly box. Katie, you want to go over the winners for the partridge, the fly box, the angler's coffee, and the GB flies? Actually, Bill Brashears and Gary have already spoken, so they're good.
Do you want me to?
Sure. Yeah.
Now that my hiccups have gone away momentarily, Bill Brashears, of course, has won the Gary Barnes gift card, and the coffee is going to go to Patrick W. Smith, and Joe Camarato has won the partridge skin from Smitty's Fly Box, and the Umpqua Fly Box filled with Whip Finish Wednesday flies is going to Jay Wilson. So congratulations, everybody, for those.
And Katie shared our email address. It is demuthflyfishing@gmail.com. If your name was called and you don't hear from us, or you can't reach out to us on Instagram, shoot us an email there. On Instagram, if you're still watching us on there, we'd love to have you hop over on YouTube. You'll be able to see a lot better than you can right there. And Steve, thank you. And Patrick sends me, I'll fish it. The fish won't mind. Oh, this one right here. Did Patrick Smith win something? Did you just say his name?
Yeah, I just said. I think
What
he
did
won the coffee.
Oh, he won the coffee. Well, at least you'll be awake to fishing, but maybe you won't be able to see that the tail's crooked. Anyway, I could ramble.
Now you've got me confused.
I know. I just remember writing his name down but I wrote 1,000 names today.
Coffee.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gary. And guys, use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday when you type your favorite variation of the Frenchie, whether it's just a standard version or you got a color that works really, really well. If you don't want to share it because it's your secret thing, then hey, that's no problem. But we'd love to see it. Next week, Katie will share the pictures that you either email to us or you tag hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday on Instagram. We did a video on this foaminizer here from Hairline. If you will look at the video and comment on the bottom somewhere and use the name Jay Stockard in the comment. Next week, we're going to draw a $25 gift card from all the comments of that video. Get a $25 gift card to Jay Stockard. So guys, you guys have been awesome. You chatted a lot. Tommy, hopefully we got your email and we'll get this in the mail tomorrow to you. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for joking with us. Thanks for just all around joshing with 2-pack and everything. So I will let Katie take us away. Next week, we have a big special surprise coming to you. And the hint is Gary Barnes. Although he's not going to be live. I don't want to give everyone too much hope. Still stuck with me. But that is a hint, Gary Barnes. Turn it over to Katie. Let her take us out. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Bye.
See you guys. See you, Ed, over on Instagram.